A room too crowded. I was not into dancing. It was Miff's idea. She reckoned we could do with some exercise and that taking jazz dancing lessons would do the trick. I mean, I didn't think much about how we looked. At 16, boys were not as interesting as horses, hiking and skating. Give me the wild free life. But Miff had her eyes on Artie. Really. She was even wearing lipstick these days. She was going on a diet and trying to squeeze into my green pleated skirt. I told her she could have it if it would fit. I was more comfortable in jeans anyway. Made my stomach turn to see how she used to take pains to appear at the same places she thought he would be. One day, while we were riding our bikes up Murphy's Hill, she said she knew this shortcut. Ha! It turned out to be miles longer. She just wanted to go past Artie's cousin's house because he was staying there for the weekend. So, you see, it wasn't really in my interest to go along with my older sister to dance classes. It did help a bit when she bribed me with the promise of lending me her speed skates on Saturday night. Dance classes were to be held in the Scout Hall on Friday nights. By the time Miff and I got there, things were already jumping. The hall seemed full of girls jerking to blaring music. That's when I noticed that the teacher was a fella. And what a hunk. I could not believe it. He was gorgeous. Nothing like that lame brain Artie. Nothing like anything I had seen before. I watched as he called instructions to his class. Blonde curly hair. Only angels on advertising billboards looked like that. Since he wore only bitsy little shorts and a sweat singlet, I could see all the muscles I had never dreamed of. The music stopped and he turned to where we were waiting. "Well, girls, are you here to work? Take up the back net row and follow the next routine." I don't know how I got through the next 30 minutes. My knees were like rubber. My timing was all wrong too. Nothing I did was right. When he finally called for a 10-minute break, I was so hot that sweat was dripping from the end of my nose. He suggested that we all sit out on the veranda where we might catch a cool breeze. We trooped outside to the blessed cool air. Most of the girls sat on the stairs or leaned against the railing, but I never liked to be part of the crowd. Besides, I was out to get him to protect me, to notice me. I might not be much of a dancer, but I could climb any tree or balance on any rail. I was afraid of nothing. In one easy movement, I swung up onto the veranda rail to perch gracefully above the crowd. There was a single crack, and the whole piece gave way. A sensation of falling, and then blackness. There was a sensation of swimming through a feeling of weightlessness, but I could hear people talking a long way off. I listened carefully and at last made out a voice asking, "Is she dead?" Then his concerned voice, "Someone, get a glass of water." That is when I remembered what was going on. I had been to jazz class, and it was the blonde Adonis that was bending over me. He had noticed me. He was worried for my safety. No hurry. I might just lie here for a bit longer. I smiled inside myself while my pallid face made not a twitch. Still, with my eyes closed, I heard a girl's voice. "Here's the water. What will I do with it?" According to the movies, this is where he gently raises my head and soothes my brow with his wetted handkerchief. "What do you mean, what do I do with it? Throw it at her face, you fool!" Without waiting, I miraculously recovered. How could he? He had spoilt the whole effect. He took one look at my swift recovery and thought I had been staging the whole thing. He ordered everyone back to work. I stayed there on the ground for a while. I really was hurt, but with his reaction, I was not going to admit that. Who needs boys anyway? Jazz dancing had to be the worst thing that had ever happened to me. I limped over to my bike and wobbled wearily home. In the morning, Miff was dancing and singing fit to burst. She is such a klutz. I was in a foul mood. There was a bruise the size of a netball on my thigh. "Why are you so happy? Jazz gone to your head?" "Tony says I have potential. He has given me some extra exercises to improve my posture. Why didn't you stay last night? It was awesome." I watched as she did some belly jerking while swinging her arms from side to side. "Are you still going over to Artie's place today?" "You have to be kidding. Artie is such a child." "Thanks for getting me to go to jazz class. Tony is the best thing that could happen to me."